A hospital bill can sometimes be almost as frightening as the illness itself. And a new parliamentary report has put the spotlight on just how expensive private healthcare can be in India. A 31-member parliamentary standing committee on health and family welfare has expressed deep concern over the huge difference in treatment costs between government and private hospitals. The committee says treatment in private hospitals can cost 5 to 10 times more than in government hospitals, particularly for serious illnesses such as cancer, heart disease, and kidney failure. So, why is there such a massive gap, and what exactly is the government being asked to do about it? Let's break it down. First, look at the numbers. According to the report, the average cost of hospitalization was around rupees 6,631 in government hospitals compared with rupees 50,508 in private hospitals. That is more than 7 times higher, and the difference isn't limited to major surgeries. For outpatient treatment over 15 days, the average cost of a single treatment was rupees 289 in government hospitals compared with rupees 1,447 in private hospitals. That's roughly 5 times higher. Childbirth shows an even more striking difference. The report says childbirth cost around rupees 2,299 in government hospitals, while in private hospitals it ranged between rupees 30,000 and rupees 40,000. That's a difference of roughly 10 to 15 times. These figures are why the parliamentary panel has called for urgent action to rationalize private hospital charges. One of its key recommendations is particularly interesting. The committee wants private hospitals in large metropolitan cities to keep their room charges below the average tariff of 3-star hotels in the vicinity. Now, this doesn't mean the committee is saying a hospital room should simply be priced like a hotel room. Hospitals have doctors, nurses, medical equipment, infection control systems, and round-the-clock clinical services. But the committee is essentially calling for a benchmark to prevent excessive room charges and bring greater predictability to hospital bills. It has also suggested that costs such as resident doctors, nursing, consumables, meals and laundry can be added to the basic room tariff. The larger objective is to make the billing structure more rational and transparent. But why does room charges matter? But why focus so much on the room? Because hospitalization isn't just about the treatment. A patient admitted for several days or weeks can accumulate costs through room charges, nursing, medicines, diagnostics, consumables, and other services. And for patients with serious illnesses, hospitalization may not end after one procedure. A cancer patient, for example, may need surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, scans, and repeated follow-ups. A heart or kidney patient may need long-term treatment and monitoring. This brings us to another important recommendation in the report: continuum of care packages. The committee says financial caps should not only apply to acute treatment or surgeries. Patients also need protection from unpredictable expenses during the follow-up, rehabilitation, and palliative care. So it has recommended packages that combine preventive screening, diagnosis, treatment, and palliative services under a single capped financial framework. In simple terms, the idea is to make the entire treatment journey more financially predictable. Let's look at why this matters. It matters because a huge part of healthcare spending is still coming directly from patients and their families. The committee says the average cost of inpatient treatment for an illness was around rupees 37,858, while out-of-pocket expenditure was about rupees 34,064. That is a substantial financial burden for an ordinary household. The committee also points out that private healthcare plays a major role in India's health system, accounting for nearly 60% of the hospitalizations and 70% of outpatient services. So, when private healthcare costs rise, families may have very few alternatives, and the committee wants that unregulated costs for diagnostics, medicines, consumables, and intensive care can push vulnerable households into debt. But there is an important question here. A recommendation is not the same as implementation. If room charges are going to be benchmarked against 3-star hotels, regulators will need to decide how that benchmark will actually work. Which hotels should be included? How often should tariffs be reviewed? Should the benchmark vary between cities? And how do we ensure that hospitals don't simply shift costs from room charges to other parts of the bill? At the same time, private hospitals do have significant operating costs, particularly those providing specialized and advanced treatment. So the goal cannot simply be to make private healthcare inexpensive. It should be to make healthcare transparent, predictable, and reasonably affordable. Ultimately, this parliamentary report raises a much bigger question about healthcare affordability in India. The cost of healthcare isn't just the price of a surgery. It is the cost of the entire journey from diagnosis and hospitalization to treatment, follow-up, rehabilitation, and palliative care. And when that journey comes with unpredictable bills, families can end up fighting two battles at the same time, one against the illness and another against the cost of treatment. That is why the committee's call for rationalized charges and continuum of care packages could be significant if these recommendations are actually implemented effectively.